easy songs.
Walked down by the river and I thought of you today. You always seem to understand the words I couldn't say. When we sing together those country harmonies, I never heard a sweeter voice come so easy and so free. Friend of mine, at times you were so wise, with the sweet ways of a playful child, sorrow in your eyes. You came riding through, but your heart made you stay. I could use some of your honesty now that you've gone away. I can hear your footsteps walking here with me. I never heard a sweeter voice come so easy and so free. Friend of mine, singing to me now. Wanted to say I cared, but didn't quite know how. Driving down these dusty roads where we spent so many days, your songs wrapped close around me like the heavy summer haze. Coast of California holds me like your melody. I never heard a sweeter voice come so easy and so free. Friend of mine.
That was by Kate Wolf, and we're glad to be at the Frostburg State Appalachian Festival.
The only thing better would be if we were there in person and you were there in person, and we didn't have to wear all these things on our faces. But here we are. This is how it is now, and it's pretty good, really.
Welcome to our home. You can see behind me the top of Johnny Hilt's hat. He was a legendary fiddle player from Southern West Virginia, and if Michael moves his head, you'll see Walker Calhoun behind him.
Oh.
Other way, Michael. He's working on a blowgun dart. And way in the back, those ears you see above our door are made by Maggie Rudy. That's one of the creatures of Rich Mountain. And Maggie Rudy calls her Missy Bear. So welcome to our home in Elkins, West Virginia.
Where it's raining outside and the river is rising and the roads are muddy.
And so that brings us to our second song by the legendary music maker Kate Wolf, Muddy Roads. And Michael's moving his capo for the occasion. Another moment to see Walker Calhoun back there. Here we go.
Wait a minute.
This is, as you will see, a set about water. All the songs have to do with water. Our gratitude for it. If I claim to have the answers, would I be taking chances loving you? If I could say the wind was right, I shouldn't stay with you.
tonight, who would lose? 'Cause you got me dancing down these muddy roads, soft sand between my toes, feeling fine. Sunlight playing on my back, shirt and hat, singing out a crazy rhyme. If I could see around the bend, would it change the time I spent wanting you? And if I could bring you a perfect rose from all the pretty buds that grow, how could I choose? 'Cause you got me dancing down these muddy roads, soft sand between my toes, feeling fine. Sunlight playing on my back, shirt and hat, singing out a crazy rhyme. Mark them off one by one, spent with you. I'd be rich but never poor, find myself with many more than I could use. 'Cause you got me dancing down these muddy roads, soft sand between my toes, feeling fine. Sunlight playing on my back, shirt and hat, singing out in crazy rhyme.
Muddy Roads by Kate Wolf.
I failed to tell you that Connie West behind me is the one who made that picture. She's a legendary Appalachian artist.
And activist.
Speaking of artists and activists, I want to do a song by Colleen Anderson, who lives in Charleston, West Virginia. And she made this song when she was angry. It's a mix of an angry song and really a loving song. When the chemical spill happened, infected 9 counties in the southern part of West Virginia just a few years ago, Colleen was thinking about what she would say at a hearing Well, she was walking and getting mad and worked through her anger into art and activism. And she made this song called If You Love My West Virginia, and she sang this at the hearing.
If you love my West Virginia, you will keep her waters clean. If you love my West Virginia, you will keep her mountains green. If you love my West Virginia, love her wonderful and wild. You'll respect her like your mother and defend her like your child. If you love my West Virginia, you would suffer for her sake. If you love my West Virginia, you will give more than you take. If you love my West Virginia, you will grieve to see her kneel to the ones that only use her for the riches they can steal. If you love my West Virginia, you will. If you love my West Virginia, you will hold her in your soul. If you love my West Virginia, you won't watch your mountains fall. If you love my West Virginia, you would grieve to see her stand, with her summits bathed in glory, like our Prince Emmanuel's land. Let's do that again. I messed it up. If you love my West Virginia, you will hold her in your soul. If you love my West Virginia, you won't watch your mountains roll. If you love my West Virginia, you will fight to see her stand, with her summits bathed in glory, like our Prince Emmanuel's land.
With her summits bathed in glory, like our Prince Emmanuel's land.
Thank you, Colleen Anderson. That last line refers to one of the state songs, the West Virginia Hills, and the old people we've interviewed in our oral histories say they started the day singing that song. Imagine starting every school day with singing.
Oh, those West Virginia hills, how majestic and how grand. With their summits bathed in glory, like our Prince Emmanuel's land. You get the idea.
I'm going to do one more by the legendary Kate Wolf, transitioning us from rivers to the sea. Every river runs to the sea. And this one, I think, has to do with, as my mom says, not just any ship, but relationship. Getting along.
Our mom is a seasoned therapist in New York City, Susan Nobel, and
if you need one,
a terrific counselor.
She's Zooming
and
these
she
days.
knows about relationship.
This is also about hope, and it's called Safe at Anchor. Here I stand alone again, reaching out across the room. Quietly the sun's gone down, sailors seek the harbor. Look at us sail
awash, but still afloat. And now the winds come up to rock us on the water.
Right now, the storm like a ship safe at anchor, waiting out the long voyage round the Cape of Horror will take her.
In the calm before the storm, sunny days and smoother waters, when we hit the seventh wave, we found a line and caught her. Look into my eyes, let me see where you've been sailing. Like you, I felt the storm, heard the wild waves wailing.
Right now, the storm like a ship safe at anchor, waiting out the long voyage round the Cape of Hope will take her.
Steer clear of the shore, the coast is rough and rocky. It's the deepest channel that runs most true. The brightest stars that mark her, steady as she goes. There's no turning back the sailors, with the ship on course and the sea winds fair. There's no need to fail her.
Right now, the storm like a ship safe at anchor, waiting out the long voyage round the Cape of Hope will take her.
Right
Now the storm like a ship safe at anchor, waiting out the long voyage round the Cape of Hope will take her.
Kate Wolf.
Well, now we're going to get to hear a song about a shipwreck, sung by an old friend named Maggie Hammonds years ago, who was a member of the legendary Hammonds family and knew a whole book full of songs that she carried around in her head. And she was a product of the Allegany wilderness, as all of her family was. She lived for a while in Ohio while her husband worked in the mills, but she came back later and finished out her life in Pocahontas County, where she was born on the Williams River. And this song is unusual because it talks about a shipwreck, and you don't think of people in the Allegheny Mountains as being too focused on the ocean or ways of the sea or disasters at sea. But here's a song, and she might have learned it from her own family members, or she might have learned it working as a cook in a camp in the log woods, where people came from all over the southeast, all over the southern mountains to work in the timber. And it's the only song I ever heard with a reference to cannibalism.
So listen close and don't get eaten.
Yeah, don't get eaten by this song. Carrie does a nice job on it. We'll ask her to sing this one.
Let's hope for the best. As I was out walking on the dock at First Street, a jolly young sailor I chanced for to greet. I said, "Brother sailor, oh, where are you bound?" "I'm bound for New London or some other strange town. This ship being rigged and ready to sail, we hauled up the anchor and we drew up the sail. For 6 months we sailed, all hearts were content. Then the ship sprung a leak, to the bottom she sank. There was 44 sailors got in a lifeboat, way out on the ocean, all alone there to float. Provisions grew scarce, and death it drew nigh. We each drew our number for to see which would die. These names being written, put into a hat, we each drew our number. Yes, we each drew our fate. But among all these sailors, a fair damsel drew last, and she was to be killed by the one she loved best. Before I would kill you, my heart it would burst. Before I would kill you, my love, I'd die first. Then stop
but very few people who would die for a friend. There's knives being sharpened, there's murdering to do. Then stop, said the lady, for a moment or two. Then stop, said this lady, hold on to your tongues, for I hear a ship a-comin' by her loud roar and guns. In the space of a moment, we each looked again, and we spied a ship a-comin' for to take us all in, straightways to New London. This ship was conveyed, straightways to get married. When this young man and maid.
Nice job. I bet you Maggie Hammonds would be smiling from wherever she is if she could hear you sing that.
It's good to be with the elders. Johnny Hilt over my shoulder, Cherokee Walker Calhoun behind Michael, and I think about Wes Harris, who preserved Connie West's pictures, and he's been at the Frostburg Appalachian Festival before, and he's got the traveling Appalachian Museum. Check him out and keep doing what you're doing. And Michael, I think you've got an original song now, have you not?
Well, it's coming up pretty soon.
Oh, not quite. Okay,
But
there's
before
another
that,
old one.
I've got a song that I learned firsthand from a wonderful singer named Wavy Chapel down on the high bank of the New River. I went to see her dad. I didn't even know that there was a Wavy Chapel in the world, but I went to see her dad, who Jerry Milnes had told me was a great ballad singer. And he wasn't home, but she was there. And she said, well, I know a song or two myself. And so she sang this version of the Pretty Fair Miss, All in Her Garden. Probably dates to the time of the Crusades. And a strange gentleman comes riding up on a horse, sees her there working in the garden, and he's kind of struck on himself a little bit. He's sitting proud on the horse, and he says, pretty fair miss, do you fancy I?
Do you fancy?
And because he thinks he's pretty fancy. And she looks him over and she says, oh no, kind sir, I cannot honor your request. For I have a sweetheart who's on the ocean, he's sailing on the ocean, and he's been gone 7 long years. And I'll tell you the truth, if he stays there 7 years longer, still no man will marry me. Well, you know, ladies, friends, women, friends, you know what happens then. He starts on his what ifs. Well, what if he's drowned on that ship? Or what if he's struck down on a battlefield? Or worse yet, what if he's found him a pretty fair lady? He no longer calls your name.
She says, that's all right. I love the one that bears his name if he's married someone else. And we'll let you follow along and see if you can follow and see what happens after that. You can hear Wavy Chapel singing this on the Augusta Heritage recordings.
Oops.
Or you can hear us on one of our CDs.
That's not right. A pretty fair miss all in her garden. Strange young man come a-riding by. He stepped up to her and he asked her, said, pretty fair miss, do you fancy I?
Oh no, kind sir, I cannot honor. You are a man of high degree, but I a sweetheart across the ocean. In 7 long years he's been gone from me.
And if he stays there 7 years longer, no other man will marry me. What if he's on some ship a-sailing? What if he's on some battlefield slate? What if he's found him another fair lady, and he no longer calls your name?
Well, if he's drowned, then I hope he died happy. Or if he's on some battlefield slain, or if he's found him another fair lady, I love the one that bears his name.
Then he reached his hand down from his pocket, his fingers been both long and slim, and pulled the ring down from his pocket that 7 years before she gave to him. She then fell down straightways before him, kisses he gave first to one then two. Said, I'm your poor single soldier, returning home for to marry you.
Thank you. Well, we hope it worked out well for them.
So this is
We promised Kara Rogers Thomas, the queen of the festival and the organizer, that we'd stay on time. So we have about another 10 minutes.
well, I have to say about this song that it is one of many that I have heard sung firsthand by older and residents of this region, although I think she was about the same age I was at the time. And all of this beautiful old-time music that in some cases dates back to the time of Beowulf, 12 centuries for some of these old songs, against a backdrop of extractive industry and intrusion from outside interests and outside control of natural resources, which has had disastrous effects on our communities, on our health, on the health of our children. For 150 years, the deep, dusty, explosive coal mines, and more recently, the dangerous, explosive, polluting, water compromising pipelines that are being laid across West Virginia.
Some of them we've stopped, though. The Atlantic Coast Pipeline, people worked extremely hard in North Carolina, West Virginia, and boy, those Virginians are tough. And also want to thank the people in Maryland who came and educated us. What did they do? How did they work in their communities? And we've learned so much from you, Dr. Annie, as they call you, and everybody else. And we were lucky enough that our pipeline company was called Dominion, and that made for some good songs. And one came to you, I guess, Christmas morning a couple of years ago, before this was stopped.
I opened the window to see what the weather was doing outside, and this song came floating in out of the ether. And I grabbed a pencil and started writing as fast as I could, and I didn't get it all, but I got most of it. And if I can get this guitar in tune.
We've done oral histories through the region, and that's what's in this song, some of what we've heard.
Yeah, we've been talking to lots of people all over the Marcellus Shale.
So sing it before we run out of time here.
And so some of these images come from those conversations. Oops. Dominion lines coming down the road, 42-inch pipelines by the truckload. They're coming by the hundreds, that pipeline crew, but don't look for local workers, there'll be only a few. Got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion pipeline blues. The roar of them trucks are pulling through town will drive you insane with the traffic and sound. Helicopters overhead around the clock, and increased security be sure to lock. I got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion pipeline blues. Well, they say there'll be a lot of money around, and new entertainments will be coming to town. More drugs and crime and quarrels and fights, and sirens wailing through the night. I got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion pipeline blues. Got them bad. They're building man camps where the crews will stay to work construction by the day. These lonely young men with few pleasures to be found will be prowling our streets when the sun goes down, stalking our kids at events in town. Got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion pipeline blues. And up the valley where high ridges tower, they'll be tearing up steep slopes by the hour. By the time they're gone, you'll think you're in hell when you taste that in the bottom of your well. Got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord.
Dry well.
Got them old Dominion dry well blues. So it's boom and bust any way you look at the ruination of our creeks and brooks. Trickle down poisons are the legacy of the Dominion Pipeline Company. Got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion Pipeline blues. Come people gather round, we can figure this out. We gotta shut her down, without a doubt. Pure mountain water, our dearest resource, don't stand a chance against us killing force. I got the blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Got them old Dominion Pipeline blues. Come on, young people, you sons and daughters, let's all join hands to protect our water. Sun and wind and water power will keep this land in tree and flower. Got the blues, blues, got the blues, got the blues, Lord, Lord. Thought they moved the Minion Pipeline Blues. There's mean things happening in this land. It's time for us to take a stand. And there is a lot of meanness going on these days. And it is time for us to say, no more of that.
Take a stand.
Take a stand. All join hands. Take a stand.
Work.
So,
Michael said this was a sad one to end with, but I said the part that he added, which side are you on, gives a good ending.
Good ending. This is a song by a man I greatly admire, Darrell Scott, who must truly have roots in the region of southeastern Kentucky to be able to write a song like this and to just know all the things that he knows and to express himself so beautifully musically. I don't pretend for a moment to be in competition with him, but I was gripped by this song and have done my best to sing it.
By Darrell Scott. Thank you for having us with you. We always love this festival. We love being with Sparky and Rhonda and Adam Booth and Jay Smar, and I could go on and on and on. And
Sam and Joe Herman.
Miles.
And
Miles Thomas. Or maybe he's a Rogers Thomas. All of you. And all of you. Richard Maslow. Let me stop because there's so many. So stay well. Stay engaged.
Keep your face masks on, except when you're singing. In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky, that's a place where I trace my bloodline. Well, it's there I read on the hillside gravestone, you'll never leave Harlan alive. My granddad's dad walked down Kinneret Mountain, and he asked till he helped it to be his bride. Said, won't you walk with me out of the mouth of this holler? Or we'll never leave Harlan alive. When the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down about 3 in the day, and you fill your cup with whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life just thinking of how to get away. No one ever knew they was cold in them mountains till a man from the northeast he came round, waving $100 bills, said I paid for your minerals, but he never left Harlan alive. Sold out cheap, and they moved out west of Pinewood to a farm where the Richland River winds. And I heard they danced their jig, and they laughed and sang a new song. Who said we'd never leave Harlan alive? But times they got hard and the backer wasn't selling. And old Grandpa knew what he'd do to survive. So we went and dug for Harlan coal, sent the money back to Grandma. But he never left Harlan alive. When the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down about 3 in the day, and you fill your cup with whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life digging coal from the bottom of your grave. In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky, that's a place where I traced my bloodline. Well, it's there I read on the hillside gravestone, you'll never leave Harlan alive.
Oh, tell me, which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on?
Stay engaged. If you want to engage with us, look for us on Facebook at Michael and Carrie Kline Talking Across the Lines, or folktalk.org, or check out our podcast, which is full of oral histories and Appalachian music, and that's also called Talking Across the Lines. We'd love to do some oral history workshops, or do some interviewing projects, or some more music workshops, and stay engaged. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us.